Hello everyone, welcome to today's Novedge webinar. Artlantis 2021 is here. In today's webinar, discover Artlantis 2021's key assets like openness, speed, and efficiency. Stay tuned to get a look at the new interface, the new MediaStore, and to hear about IFC Import and LUTs, among other things. Today's webinar presenter is Ildiko Szabo. Ildiko is trained as an architect and has been a member of the Abvent team since 2001. And over the years, she has followed the evolution of Artlantis closely and has acquired a vast experience in architectural visualization in general. And now I'll show you where you can find Artlantis on our webpage, novedge.com. Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, best advice, and faster service. Check us out at novedge.com. Again, this webinar will be recorded and posted on YouTube on the Novedge channel. And now I'm going to share Ildiko's screen. Hold on a second. It will take me just a minute. Here we go. Ildiko, take it away.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Fine.
Yep.
I'm ready to start. Then let me welcome you from my side too to this presentation of Artlantis 2021, the new version of Artlantis launched last December. And I will focus on the novelties. So I will start showing you some slides to resume, really to focus on what is new in this version. So first of all, whenever a new version starts to be developed, developers put some keywords in front of them, and they go along those goals they propose for certain versions. So for this version, there are 3 keywords we will go through, and these are collaboration, speed, and efficiency. So let me start with the first one and speak a little bit about what does it mean, collaboration for Artlantis, which being a standalone rendering application needs a modeler, that's obvious, that generates the 3D model, which afterwards is taken over into Artlantis, and with its complete dedicated interface to presentation creation, it will produce nice renderings. So this passage should be smooth, and from the beginning Artlantis included the most common file formats of 3D modelers. It could open them. In addition to that, it had dedicated plugins toward ArchiCAD, Revit, Vectorworks, SketchUp, Rhino. And now, starting version 2021, it also integrates the IFC format. So that can open now directly IFC 2x3 and the IFC 4 format, so the latest one. What does it mean in terms of Artlantis, this new format? First of all, it means that it's open for more BIM applications. So for whenever a modeler or a different other application is that completes the workflow of a construction industry, that is able to save this IFC format, Artlantis can collaborate with and take over the model from any side. And the second point, this means a wider, a bigger flexibility of Artlantis. So at whenever point at this workflow of construction documentation evolution, it can step in and get the model from any application, in fact. So let me show you my example. The model was created in ArchiCAD. And from ArchiCAD, it passed to calibrate, to control the model, the way the model is. Then from Solibri, it was taken over into Artlantis through the IFC format. And of course, using the Artlantis settings, the rendering can be done with the same ease and speed, let's say, as coming from any modeler, real modeler, for example, from ArchiCAD in this case. So this flexibility now is also increased, and Artlantis is able to collaborate with many software. Good. Let me continue and let me highlight the speed focus. And you will be surprised because at this point I will speak about the LUTs. So the so-called lookup tables, these color formulas you can apply to your image to get a certain color range and atmosphere to your image. So what does have to do a lot with the speed? First of all, this comes at the final part of our rendering creation process. When we are tweaking, we are fine-tuning some colors, some saturation of colors, we are looking much more for an ambience. We are looking for a mood presentation. We are looking to achieve that ambience that will really sell our product. So we would like to have the colors in harmony, to get them in a certain range and so forth, to achieve the message, to deliver the message correctly. And the LUTs today are very fashionable to do that in one click, to make this harmonization in one click. So why not shorten this final fine-tuning with the help of the LUTs? So let me show you what does it mean in Artlantis. So show you some examples. This is a rendering done in Artlantis, as you can see in the preview window, without any specific treatment. So then let me apply those presets which are available in Artlantis, and we can achieve immediately different type of ambient atmospheres through these LUTs. So the LUT means a color correction at the same time to grading the different colors and to work on the aesthetic side of any rendering. So these are the presets, as I already told you. And because Artlantis wants to keep open to any new LUTs as well, you can at any moment apply your own LUTs. The format is .cube. So on the internet, we are free to download a lot of LUTs, really put at our disposal free of charge. And these LUTs can be applied to Artlantis projects anytime. So this was the second topic. And the most wider topic is efficiency. And let me highlight what does it mean. Artlantis was always famous because its ease of use and user-friendliness of its interface. And now this thinking around the efficiency to make it even more, to push it further, made developers to create, besides the classic interface we already know of Artlantis, easy interface. So kind of a choice of interfaces we can do in the preferences of Artlantis. So this is a choice. It's very important to highlight. We can switch in between to the preferences of Artlantis So let me highlight what does it really mean. It means shortcutting some items, and we can find some resembling or corresponding settings which help us to easily achieve certain effects. Just think of a reflection. Instead of tweaking value per value and see the difference in the preview, we have bigger steps of low resolution, medium resolution, high resolution. So we better sense that we would like to have a surface reflective, then push it to the high, and Artlantis will immediately apply that corresponding setting to the reflection. So these presets will help you to go faster in your settings, avoid time-consuming calculation to wait the preview to be refreshed all the time to see whether it's the good setting or not, whether you should increase a few values more the reflection. So until you get really used to the value settings, or even you want to go faster, that's an excellent choice to use this easiness of the interface, which at the end will increase productivity. Increased productivity means the time gain needs speed. So things are interrelated. We cannot keep them completely separated, as you can see. Let me show you which are the inspectors which are affected by this change, by this easiness. Are the most of them shaders, lights, heliodor inspectors, perspective, and rendering parameters. Only the object inspector is missing, but for the objects, we have so few settings in the inspector that we couldn't reduce it even more. So I will take inspector by inspector, and this is the good part of showing slides. I can really highlight the differences between the two different interfaces. So let me start with the shader inspector. First, you can see the classic interface. Below, there is the easy interface. And with this red dashed line, I'm just showing the areas which were affected by this easy interface. So it means the reflection was accumulated, the values. As you can see, there is still the value there next the roll down list containing this low, medium, high, or no reflection at all for a certain material. The same goes for the blur level, so-called the shininess. The same, we can apply different shininess, or a custom value can be applied as well. So if you are still not satisfied with the result, you can overcome a little bit. And the relief, the same for the bump, if we wanted to have it more important or less important, is possible. The next interface is the artificial light inspector. And let me highlight here too the areas which were affected. These are the power, the color, and the angle of the light, the artificial light. And here, frankly to say, myself also I'm using the easy interface because it gives me good information about the power of the general lighting. So it gives even the value on lumens is translated into watts. So sometimes we are going into the shops and on the bulb boxes, we see power values highlighted in watts. The lumen might be there, but if somebody is more familiar with the watts, why not to use it? And here we can have information about that. And the values you see, 440 lumens, corresponds to the 40 watts bulb, and that will be applied. So you can better control the realistic values you set in your interiors for the artificial lights. And for the Artlantis engine, this is compulsory, this is very important. Otherwise, the equilibrium of the light won't be so realistic. It will be pushed toward different extremes, and the final result won't be nice. So in Artlantis, we should always follow with the settings what happens in our real life, and to set those values for our renderings as well. And this easy interface introduces for the light power this excellent list of choices that helps us very much. The second slider is the color of the light. As you can see here, there also appears a roll down list with different Kelvin values for the color. This is how it's defined. And the same, the Kelvin value appear next to a color. So let me show you an example. And this example is a white model because the different light colors will be much visible here over a white model rendering. And the different presets are highlighted on the distributed here. So we have the cool white, the daylight, white, warm white, and candle. So the candle is the yellowish. We will never have such a very powerful candle that will lit segment of a room entirely, of course. So a candle lights much more its close surroundings, but this time it was applied for a bulb, just to be able to compare the different settings next to each other on this white model, so we can really sense the differences in Kelvin and the presets, what they mean. So if I take the textures with their own colors for the same renderings, and I apply the presets over it, so you can now better understand what these presets mean and what's the gain using these presets in Artlantis 2021. Okay, let me continue. With the inspector of heliodens, and I'm highlighting again the areas which were subject to this reduction or optimization, better saying, yes. So the light power now is both sliders are collected and cumulated into a roll down list called Sunbeam. You have medium power, higher, lower power of the value for the two sliders, which at this point they are working together. The same, you have the clouds. So you do not need to open an extra dialog. You will have a roll down list with different choices like clear skies, scattered clouds, and so forth, which provides you the combination of the 4 different cloud types already. The dice is still there, so you can reorganize the amount of clouds in the sky to make a nicer, to achieve something that it suits you better in the heliodon sky, to have a nice background. And the lens flare is still there. The effect can be activated, of course, if there is no lens flare effect set. So the slider is, the roll down list highlights the none. The type is not active, this icon, but if I choose a low effect already, then I can choose among those existing 4 presets of the lens flare here too. So you see they were really collected together. And the next slider is the perspective inspector. Here the difference is it's really small, contains only the focal of the camera, but that also could be nice because sometimes we might be lost in the with the angles, with the millimeters of the focal. But if we roll down the list, we will have a wide angle, we will have a portrait or something. So these presets help us to set easily the focal for the camera. And finally, the most affected dialog is that of the rendering parameters. Here you can see the classic choice of renderings, parameters, I mean. So we have 3 sliders for the engine. They already have a preset which helped us to easily calibrate the engine itself. And this preset will be kept for the easy interface. The 2 sliders for the sampling, which also had their roll down list, whether we would like to have the calculation to be done slowly or very fast. It means we wanted a low sampling or a higher sampling. That remains as well. The ambient occlusion is concluded into a single slider. We still have, of course, the enhanced background, so it's not it doesn't mean to discard some features, it's to optimize the features, the settings. So let me show you the easy interface of the rendering parameters. You see the ambience for the engine calibration, the sampling is here, the shadow details, this is the ambient occlusion, and we still have the white balance, which is automatic, HDRI lighting, which is the enhanced background, the portals, the denoisers. So we have all the features, but with easier settings, really. So this was the interface optimization that belongs to this topic of efficiency. This is the first very important topic here, and there is a second very important topic over efficiency, which is the Artlantis MediaStore. And that was a long struggle, and we are really happy to make it alive, to provide you to can benefit of the very new interface of the online media store. The first and very important novelty that was very much requested by users is to make it accessible in any browser. So now it is, if you go mediastore.artlantis.com, you will be able to browse the Artlantis media on any browser. You can log in and even purchase media. And whenever you log into the Artlantis Media Store, then you will retrieve the purchased media in your download section and download it for your offline catalog. It has a completely reworked interface. As you can notice, this interface is similar, it's identical, I mean, on the web that you can find in a browser, or if you access the same store through Artlantis, you will find exactly the same Artlantis store interface. So it's seamlessly integrated into Artlantis, and the interface is completely identical. In addition to this, we shouldn't forget, before I pass to Artlantis to show you a little bit these settings, sorry, how they are showing up in Artlantis, we shouldn't forget about the good old features which are empowering Artlantis for so many years, or not so many years, because they were introduced by the recent versions. So Artlantis is able to do standalone renderings and animations and panoramas and VR objects, or there are different type of presentation we can prepare. Even we can do site insertion. This is a feature that was part of Artlantis really from the beginnings, because Artlantis being developed specifically for the profession of architecture, interior and urban planning and design and everything that keeps at the construction architectural field. First of all, the inserting a model into its future site is something very requested by clients, and of course this tool should be kept easy to use, accessible. Therefore, it was always reworked along the years. We can do white models, as you saw already, an example for the artificial light interface, and realistic renderings as well, with global illumination. And keeping this struggle for ease of use and user-friendliness is present even in this latest version through this interface choice. RAL colors collections, which were provided by the previous version of Artlantis, are there, still there, and of course you can complete if you have different other color collections. You are welcome to add it to the native color palette of your operating system, and apply realistic colors with a specific color code to make your interiors not only to look like in reality, but whenever you would like to make executing this interior, to be able to give the color you wanted to have on the walls, on the floor, and wherever over the interiors or on buildings. Another feature is the Denoiser, which is to discard this little filter, very easy to be applied to discard the noise in our images, and to wash away, make these images smooth and spare calculation time. Or we shouldn't forget about the 3D grass that can be applied as a simple shader that can be mapped over any type of surface, and it will generate realistic 3D grass, which there is 10 different 3D grasses in the basic library of Artlantis. So whenever you download the trial version, and I invite you to download the trial version of Artlantis at artlantis.com, which is a 30-day fully functional version. You can save, you can create your own renderings, and you have access to the complete content of the basic library of Artlantis, which already includes this 3D grass with 10 different choices. And finally, before I conclude my slides, this is my last slide actually, I would like to speak a little bit about the system configuration, the needed configuration for Artlantis. So you have the minimum configuration and you have the recommended configuration in the second block. You can see Artlantis is not very demanding in computer power. So even an i3 computer can run Artlantis. However, an i7 is recommended because, of course, as our files start to be larger and larger, the geometries are more and more complex, our textures are nicer and higher resolution. So as the files, the projects become more complex, a more powerful computer is appropriate to create, to turn easily the model in the 3D window and have a refreshment time, an optimum refreshment time, not to wait too much, so to have the process smooth and easy. With all this, the graphic card is not very strong, as you see, and it doesn't even give type of a graphic card. It doesn't have preference, Artlantis, for any type of graphic card, because the graphic card itself doesn't participate so much in the process. It helps to open a 3D project, to turn this 3D project in the preview window, or to display the 2D window in different views. So whenever during the work you change something to the 3D, the graphic card is there. But when you calculate the final rendering, then the processor will do the job. The graphic card doesn't have to do anything there. It's only the processor. Therefore, whenever you make a computer choice, then it's better to focus on a good processor that will allow you to achieve faster results with Artlantis. Artlantis is compatible with the latest operating system, is compatible with the macOS Catalina, macOS Big Sur. There is a little, how to say, point to highlight that it's not compatible yet with Apple computers equipped with the M1 chips. So developers are already working on it. The passage in technology is so important that they need a bit time. So one of the further updates of version 2021 will be adapted to this computer as well. So let me open Artlantis then. I'm already inside of Artlantis. You can see the signature building of version 2021. And let me highlight the different novelties a little bit to show you on the interface the way they are looking. And I will start with these lookup tables. So in the perspective inspector, I'm opening this palette that is part of Artlantis for a long time, the post-process parameters dialog, which was a little bit forgotten, but now getting this LUTs here, we will open it even more and maybe use the different other features as well. So you see the presets, and one click to apply one preset already will change the mood, the atmosphere of our presentation. And even we can add some extra LUTs, and let me do that. .cube. I downloaded from the internet, free LUT. Here it is. Let me pick up this one this time. and apply it to my rendering. So this is the option of this LUT, and I will keep it. Okay, so you are free to use whatever you wish. The second point to highlight is the interface. And for the interface, I'm already in the easy part of it. So in the preferences, if I open it in the interface tab, here you can choose between the two. You do not even need to restart Artlantis whenever you make the change. I will keep it in easy because you already know, maybe those being already familiar to Artlantis, you know the existing interface. Those being new to Artlantis are welcome to start with this easy interface, and I will review a little bit step by step. So I click on the preview, I highlight the setting of a shader and a reflection. If I want to have it in low, okay, then I simply choose it. If a custom value is set, of course, then the roll down list will highlight the custom part. But if I want to make it low, then I will have a different value that corresponds to this preset. Custom relief, I want it high, then I will choose high. So this is the shaders. The objects remain the way they were. Artificial lights, and here is this roll down list. You can see it's much more a candle light, a very low light, and up to a light which is quite powerful in a bigger interior, 3220 lumens or 200 watts. Of course, when we apply for a street lamp, it's even more powerful, then we need a custom value for that. However, for interiors, in an excellent way to guide ourselves here. And these are the different presets for the color of the light. The heliodone. For the heliodone, this is the part which is subject to this easy interface, the clouds first of all, clear sky, so I can change the preset and reorganize with the dice the amount of clouds set in the sky. So I'm free to choose the one that is the, I think it's the nicest. Sunbeam, I don't want to make it so heavily shine in the, then I take it back a little bit, and the lens flare, there is no lens flare effects for this scene. We saw already the perspective inspectors, and here are the rendering parameters we saw, and this should be calibrated. For example, for an exterior, that's the scene which has light in abundance, that I will take it maybe to faster, even I can keep it to faster, it will be nice. Shadow details, I take it a bit back. White balance, why not? Let's use it. And no HDRI in my scene, so I will keep only these settings, and this will be the rendering parameters for my scene that I will use to. Okay. And the last thing to show is the MediaStore. So I will access the MediaStore through the internet, to the Artlantis interface, not through the internet. So this card icon will open up the store for me. You can log in now with your Abvent ID directly. It's no different login requested. And as you see, the organization of the MediaStore is identical as your offline catalog, so you can easily search the MediaStore the same way as your offline catalog. So even some excellent presets to shortcut different objects and then switch is to the object inspector. I can filter out even from main collections, browse, and if I decide to download one of them, I can even highlight how it looks in a rendering, what's the scale, etc. And if I decide to download it, then it will appear in my offline catalog exactly at the same category and subcategory where it belongs initially. So this is the Artlantis MediaStore. There are some nice bundles you can purchase, and there are of course media for free downloading as well. And in your personal area, you will retrieve all those items you have purchased once upon a time, and you will be able to download them as many times as you need. Okay, with this, I think I could present you all the novelties of this excellent version 2021. I thank you so far for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, Ildiko. That was awesome. We're still waiting for the questions. I don't see any at the moment, so maybe I can switch to my screen just to remind everybody where they can get Artlantis 2021. You can see it right here on our product page at novedge.com. You still have a minute or two to type in your questions, but I understand if you don't, because everything was so clear. And but again, this is the great thing about live webinars. You have most of the time the developers of the software here for you to listen to your concerns or curiosities. So don't be shy. And as I said, I am recording this presentation, so you can watch it again on our YouTube channel. Just search for Novedge. Also, we're on Vimeo. All right, we have no questions. I want to thank you again, Ildiko. That was awesome. We're very excited about all these new features, especially since Artlantis is so versatile. I mean, it works with so many other products. So great. We're very excited. Hopefully, you will be excited too. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a great day, Ildiko.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.